What's up guys? In this session let's create one more application, and this application is going to be very simple. Okay, what we're gonna do is, let's say I have a form something like this. I have a name, city, this is my text box, this is my submit button, and this is basically the data grid view. Okay, so this is my two text boxes are there inside one form. I have one button and I have a data grid view. So what exactly we need, the requirement is pretty simple, that whatever the text is there inside this text box, on the submit button click event, this text are going to be saved inside your database. Okay, so I need an insert query here so that this text going to save inside my database, and from this database when I make a select star from table name, that data has to be displayed inside this data grid view. Okay, so this is my requirement that we need. So here we will play with some area.net concept. We will there is database that come into the role play, and then this text box entries, the text we're going to save inside the database, and that exactly at the same time when this data get inserted, that data also be presented inside this data grid view. Okay, that is our requirement and we're gonna fulfill it. Okay, so let's get into the Visual Studio and let's code this. So my UI is going to have, first of all, let me drag two labels. I'll drag two labels here, one, and then I'll just make a copy of that, and then I'll drag and drop one text box, and then this is my text box 2. Okay, I also need one button here, so I drag and drop one button, and then I need a data grid view. You can find data grid view inside data tab. So where is this data tab? You can find, yeah, this is your data tab, and inside that I have a data grid view. So I'll drag and drop here. This is your data grid view. Okay, I'll resize it. Now this is the exact thing that we need, right? I'll change the text properties of this label. So first of all, I'll go and change the text properties. So I'll say label 1 going to be as name, and then label 2 is going to be have city. Okay, in the same way, button is going to be saved as changes as submit. Okay, now I need to code, right? But before that I need a database. So you can go to your project, right click on that, add new item, and select service based database. As you can see in my solution explorer, I already have one database, so I will not create this again. So I have this database, and you can find your database inside Server Explorer. To open Server Explorer, you can either go into the view and can select Server Explorer, or either you can make a key combination as Control Alt S. So I'll make a Control Alt S to show up my Server Explorer. Inside that I have this database 1.mdf, my database, and I have a table, right? So to create a new table, I'll make a right click here and add new table. Then I'll say ID, having a data type of int, and then I have a name. For my first text box, I'll say varchar, then city going to be varchar again. I'll make ID as set primary key, and I need to change one property, that is identity specification, and I already gone through this property in my previous session, so please go through those videos so that you can understand what exactly is this identity specification. Well, basically it is doing nothing, but it is making an auto increment of IDs. Rather than to go for a manual ID increment, this is going to be automated. Okay, so I'll save this table with the help of Control S and tbl underscore demo 1. This is my table name. Okay, this is it. Now we will go to our form 1 design, and I'll double click on this submit button. I'll double click it. So now we need an insert code here, right? So from the area.net concept, what exactly is the first step? We will import a namespace, and that namespace is using, let me resize the font of this code. I'll make a 150, and then I'll go ahead and code it. Okay, so I'll say using, oh, this is going to be hard, using system dot data.sql client. Okay, now the first step is SQL connection. So I will write here SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection. And from where I can get this SQL connection? To go to your database1.mdf, either you right click to your database and go to properties, or you can make alter F4. Okay, so your property window is popped up over here, and there is this connection string. You can see this connection string. You can see here connection string. Okay, so I'll copy this connection string. And I put this string in the double quotes here. So the first step is make a verbatim string over here. This is @ symbol, and then remove this double quotes from C and then after the MDF. Okay, your connection string is completely fine. Now we go for the next step. Next step is SQL command cmd equals to new SQL command, and inside that there is this insert query. So I'll say insert into tbl underscore demo1 and then values, and I'll say @name and @city, and I'll pass the connection object here. Okay, fine. Now next thing is cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and I'll pass my first variable, that is @name, and from where exactly this name is coming from? It is coming from textbox1 dot text. So exactly what we are doing in this video, we are passing the data from the text box to the database, and we are fetching the data from the database inside a grid view. Okay, so this is our the thing that we are doing inside this video. cmd.parameters.add with value. In the same way we are making it for city, and I will say textbox2.text. Okay, next is we will execute this query. So I will say cmd.execute non-query, and I'll pass it to integer I, because this execute non-query will give me 0 and 1, which I can store inside I variable. Now if the I is 0, then it is not inserted, and if it is not equals to 0, then it is inserted. So I'll write that code here. So if I is not equals to 0, that means if it is 1, then I can save basically, right? So a message box dot show, and I'll say data is inserted, and then for the else condition, the case is going to be 0, so I will simply pass it over here, this message box. So I'll copy this and I'll say error while inserting. Okay, so this is my code. I actually need one connection open, so I will open my connection here. So this is going to be opening here, and for the same thing I need a connection close, so I'll pass it over here, con dot close. Okay, so now when I run this, so you see when I run this, so I have this name and city, so I'll pass here John, and I'll put the city as Berlin. So when I make a submit, you will see the data is inserted button pops up. To check this, to verify this, if the data is correctly inserted into our database or not, we'll go to our table, right click on that and make a show table data. So if it is inserted, then it will show you 1 John Berlin. Okay, so it is inserted. Now you see there is one simple task we need to do. We need to show this data to where? Inside this grid view, right? So this is going to be the very simplest code. I only need select star from TBL demo1, right? So I'll simply pass here. I'll create one method for that. So that method name is, you can take any method. I am creating one method, and that method name is refresh data. Okay, this is my method. And to create this method, either you can simply write manually public void refresh data, but I'm going with a shortcut. So the shortcut is Either you will see this blue mark here, you can see this. Let me zoom it. So you can see there is a mark here, or either you can go for alter enter. When you click on this refresh button, alter enter, you can see this button here. When you click on this, it will say that generate method stuff for refresh data. So when I click this, it will generate the method here. You can easily see this private void refresh data. So I'll remove this exception because I don't need it. Okay, and inside that I'll write my code. So the code is, it's pretty simple, right? First of all, I need Sql connection, but I already have that connection. So I make this connection as my global connection. So I'll cut it from here and I paste it where the global declaration, generally we do. And then we will write Sql command. Oh, come on. This is not working, right? This is not working properly. Okay, no problem. Equals to new Sql command. And then I will say here select star from tbl underscore demo1. So all data will come from tbl demo1, whatever the data is inserted from those text box. And then I'll pass the con object, and I'll create SQL data adapter. We already had seen what is the SQL data adapter, SQL command. You can check my previous video where I had explained you how to insert data into database, where I had explained you what is the basic functionality and the fundamentals of area.net. Okay, then I'll pass cmd here, and if you don't know what exactly we need here, you can simply call a bracket, and then you can see the overload method. So first of all, it is nothing, then it will say that please give me the command of select command. So I can pass cmd, right? Easy peasy. Okay, then I need a blank data table, dt equals to new data table, and then I will fill this data table where exactly I can fill this data table. So the data right now, the complete data is with this SDA object. So I will say SDA dot fill. What to fill? Data table to fill. Then DT. In the last, I need to call my DataGridView1 dot data source. So what is the data source? It's coming from DT, right? So this is it. Now I need to pass this refresh data where? Here, where my message pops up. Here data is inserted. So if right now if I not pass, what will be the difference? You can see. So when I run this application and when I pass one data here, let's say Smith is the next name and the city is, I don't know much cities, but let me pass, what should I pass here? Okay, let me pass Ahmedabad. I don't know much cities, so no problem. Okay, so when I hit the submit button, so data is definitely going to be inserted. See, data is inserted. Okay, when I press OK, but the grid view is not reflecting. Why this grid view is not reflecting? Because we haven't passed the method, this method refresh data, inside our inserted code. So this refresh data, this method is not inside the insert code. It is not there, right? So I need to pass. Where should I place this? I can place this refresh data where my message box is showing you the data, right? It is showing you some message there. I can place, or either you can place just after the cmd.execute non-query, but I am passing this here, refresh data. So now you will see what is the difference. Run this, you will see the entry of Smith and Ahmedabad is there. Now the third entry, I'll put Paul, and the city is Mumbai. And when I click on this submit button, you will see the data is going to be inserted into the database, and from there the data is going to be loaded inside this data grid view. See here, data is inserted. Click OK. Yeah, there you go. So this is our application that we are trying to manipulate, and we had seen how to do that. I hope you understand it. Thank you so much for listening me, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. I'll be very thankful. Thank you so much.